I'm gonna make a video. So, I wanted to make a video talking about the video game industry and it as a whole, really, and just to answer the question of why are games now so much worse than games from back then. Now, obviously, there are a bunch of answers, but first we gotta get down to the meat of the issue. So, I decided to make this video when I was playing some Trials Evolution. And I thought to myself, I said, why is this game so much better than Rising? And, it took a little bit of time, not too much, just a little bit, and just, quick Google search, and, you figure out a lot more than you ever would have known just with a small little Google search. And, you learn how the game was rushed and how it was barely promoted. And then, it sucks when, the people who make the Trial series say, oh, well, it didn't sell well because we didn't market it and we didn't give the developers enough time. And that really sucks. I really liked the Trial series. It was a big influential game to me, I'll say. And yeah, so ignoring the little respect I have for Ubisoft, though, I think there are many, many reasons why games now are just so much worse than they were like 10 years ago. Because, think about 10 years ago. What was like the most hyped game? The most hyped game I can think of from like 10 years ago would be like Halo 3. Okay, and that game like actually like hit every note perfectly. The music was fire, the campaign was fire, the multiplayer is still like extremely popular. You can't say that about too many games now. Even like games like Team Fortress 2. That game has had like such a long history, and it's still like considered like one of the greatest team-based shooters of all time. Overwatch literally has nothing on what Team Fortress 2 has had in its entire lifespan. So I guess, the question's still there, what happened to the games industry? Well, I have a few theories. So obviously the first one is profit. The games industry then is a lot different when it was now, or a lot different than it is now, because, profits are a lot bigger. This is $1 billion industry, and if you want to carve your name into that industry and you want to get a piece of that $1 billion pie, you got to start making some profit. So obviously, I'll let you guess what I'm talking about. So obviously, you hype up a game, and you hype up a game to such an extent that you have to go and lie straight out to your fans and then eventually shut down people who may or may not be spitting the truth. I'm, of course, talking about Cyberpunk 2077. Not going to get too in-depth about that. A lot of scummy stuff they did there, but, if you hype up a game enough and you tell a lot of people it's good, people will buy it. And obviously the money doesn't lie. $500 million were generated by just straight up lying to fans about Cyberpunk. So obviously the profits are different, and the markets in general, I guess, are a lot different. Esports is now genuinely a sport, even though it's probably the most boring thing I've watched in quite a while. Golf is a lot more entertaining, and no shit to people who like golf. I think that it's a very relaxing sport. It's a sport my grandpa likes to put on when he's going to bed. So, no diss to golf though, but hot damn, is esports boring as hell. It's an insult to compare golf to esports, because that would imply that golf is as boring as esports. Esports is so boring because there's barely any stakes at play. There's money, but it's not real. All they're doing is typing at a keyboard, and that's all they're gonna do. So esports is so much more prevalent though than it ever was before. The profits for games and getting those pre-orders in are just so high. I mean, it's insane how what lengths companies will go to just to take money out of your wallet. So I think that a lot of it has to do with profits, a changing market, how single player games just don't sell that well anymore. And well, I say single player games, I was telling you, or Cyberpunk. I mean more like casual games, just like fun games, just games you can just sit back, relax, and just play, not caring about anything else. I think that another big one is, I'll be quick with this one, another big, like, factor with the industry is just, the type of the difference. I'll say, I don't really want to say it, but I'll say it real quick. It's just how different the gamer is. It's kind of cringe that I would say that, but, gamers then are different than gamers now, so that's a big one to really digest. So those are a few of my reasons of just why Cyberpunk, or not Cyberpunk, got that on my head, just why the games industry is just turned out so bad. Yeah, just kind of worried for the future. Bye.